peace and blessings, power people. I never take it for granted when you decide to tune in. I have another incredible powerhouse with me to have another heal everything conversation. You know,
Yeah.
everything that we do on the internet is to educate, empower, and inspire because I am Tama Aziz Serwa, and this is the Womb Sauna, and we are the womb of the marketplace. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
we are.
yes.
Absolutely.
And so I'm bringing big energy to you because I have an incredible soul. She is a beautiful human being who has come into my orbit, and she's been a student, a client, a friend. I mean, like the whole shebang, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
so I want to set the tone for this conversation that her and I are getting ready to have with you. It's really important to me that as women, we talk about the reality that sometimes things outside of your control occur. And when that happens, how do we find the strength, the wisdom, the power to keep going? To recognize when we get knocked off of our square, but to stand back up. How do
Yes.
we do that? How do we do that? So that's going to be the conversation. So let me formally introduce my guest. Meet Willita Evangeline Trimmings, a name synonymous with authenticity, inspiration, and boundless energy. Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
From her early years, her vibrant spirit illuminated every space she entered, providing a safe haven for others to express their true selves. Her friends find solace in her shared vulnerability, counsel, and authenticity. And while her family receives boundless love, wisdom, and unwavering support from her. With a calling to a life of service, Willita has spent 25 years as a state certified educator in New Jersey public schools, while over two decades ago, she embraced her calling to public ministry, preaching and teaching the wisdom bestowed upon her by the divine. Catch her Facebook lives because she be preaching on the internet, y'all. Her belief in the vastness of the source of all creation fuels her passion for sharing spiritual knowledge in various settings, from pulpit sermons to live workshops to social media, touching the lives of the youth and women alike. Described as having a heart as warm as the sun and a soul as deep as the ocean. Walita's journey through life is a captivating blend of humor and spirituality. Her infectious smile and unabashed spirit draws people to her, creating an atmosphere of positivity and acceptance wherever she goes. She intentionally embarks on her own healing journey to unlock her divine femininity, excuse me. In 2019, this guided her to discovering her own womb story and becoming a certified womb sauna practitioner. Hey, hey, hey,
Oh,
hey. Mm.
exactly. Exactly.
She is the founder of PusseePossee LLC, a company dedicated to curating events, providing services, and creating conversations that support, empower, inspire, and advocate for the transformation and elevation of women. As a result of this self discovery, she firmly believes in the importance of self care as a key to healing, advocating practices like yoga, spiritual baths, self dates, nature connections, and reading as a way to love yourself fully. She pours her heart and soul into encouraging women to heal everything. Her role extends beyond her professional and spiritual life. She's a caregiver, teacher, entrepreneur, counselor, and much more. She has an ability to balance multiple roles while exuding authenticity and grace. She is remarkable. She continues to inspire others through her boldness, authenticity, and unwavering belief in the limitless potential of the human spirit. Willita Trimmings is not just a holistic healer, she is a beacon of light, guiding others on her path to self discovery and healing. Her credentials, as I mentioned, state certified educator, certified womb sauna practitioner, spiritual counselor. She provides holistic womb wellness, spiritual guidance and counseling, workshops, and retreats for personal development. You know, when my sisters take their time to write out their bios, I read it because
Okay.
I am a woman that embodies a lot, and there's a cost to my oil. So I like to respect the cost to others as well. And I read their bio so you can really get to know them. So, Willita, let's start here.
Let's do it.
Has there ever been a moment in your life where it seemed that like you peaked in your joy? Everything finally was going according to plan, and then hell broke loose.
Several times. So many examples that I could give, but the one that I think that I will give the most is so back in 2019, I had, like, life was going well. I had my living situation was where I wanted it to be. I at the time I liked my job as teaching, and everything seemed to be going well. And I had a friendship that kind of like exploded, and it took me out of who I was, because for the first time, because usually I cut people off, like when I'm done, and we could just be done. And this particular person was so close that it wasn't possible to cut them off. And for me, that started the journey of a real self-discovery, because I didn't know what to do relationally. Like everything was where I wanted it to be, right? Like life was going just the way. And this really close person did some stuff that just unhinged me. But it was literally the beginning of that was the 2019 experience. It was the beginning of this new sense of understanding, and it had been started for a while, because I've been doing different prayer calls and like connecting to spirit in a way that was very different from my traditional rearing. But that one experience, just that one relationship, and the way that, and it's weird, it's interesting, because I'm still in the relationship, and I've had to learn and grow and navigate in such a way that I've had to just pull my heart apart, like really dig deep to figure it out, because it was a relationship at the time that I really wanted and saw value in, but I had been cut so deep. It wasn't until I got into another class with my sister over here where I learned that sisterhood doesn't require loyalty and all these other things that I learned. So yeah, that for me was the beginning of the end of who Willita was raised to be, and starting the path of who Willita is meant to be, and who she's discovering she wants to be. And so that was a really difficult time, but it's interesting. I really, for the first time, I went within. I couldn't go out, because I couldn't, it was a friend in a friend's circle. I'm too grown now. I don't want to be messy. And oh my God, girl, you won't believe what she did. Like I was too old for all of that. So all of the things that I had normally done in my life to deal, to manage, to assuage my pain, or all of that stuff, I couldn't use them. And so there was nothing else left. But I mean, and I started with, I'll never forget it, that night. When you talk about clean my room, I moved my dresser. I was just like, this is it. I'm done.
I got to switch all of this up.
I got to get out. And that was really I haven't moved furniture in forever, but it was like a deep cleaning in my space that started a deep cleaning in my being. And it's just been uphill ever since.
Why do you think God uses pain to grow us?
That's a heavy question. But one, I would say that it's effective. Let's be honest. It is effective in the human experience. It is, and it is effective in the sense that because you can't ignore it. There's so many other things that we can ignore, or that we do ignore,
or that we get complacent about.
We get comfortable, all those different things. A small offense here, or my integrity kind of like messed with over here. Oh, I'll just do this. All of those little things that God tries to send us, or those relationships, or those keys, or that information, we miss it. But pain, that one can't miss that. Can't miss that at all. And it's interesting because we all have a different level of pain, right? Like, how much we can bear, like just in general. Some people can't take a whole lot of pain. Some people can take, an enormous amount. And whatever that is for you, just know that your life is going to mirror that, because it is necessary that we do the work within. And unfortunately, in inward work, we tend to not pay attention when everything is going well. We are not as attentive when it's all good, for whatever reason. I don't know what that experience is about, but that's what
I love that you bring up the pain threshold and how everybody has their different measure of how much pain, whether it's physical, emotional, mental. And my spiritual father taught me that pain is the fruit of resistance. Ooh. It is the child of what we refuse to accept. So as I was listening to your answer about why do we, need pain to evolve, could we truly know our level of strength and power without it? Because honestly, and put an exclamation mark in the comment section, those of you listening and tuning in. I know we're walking heavy on this interview today, and I'm asking some really profound questions, but I would like to see women be less intimidated by their adversities and their pain. I would like for us to stop acting like trauma is a unique experience for every person. Trauma is normal. Do you know a human being that doesn't have trauma? So it's like, why do we put our pain and our wounds and our adversities on these pedestals and treat them like these treasures that are so important that I can't function? I can't function.
Well, if that's the question, I would say complacency. I would say that the things. How do I express this, God? For me, it becomes a matter of, you realize that your growth, like you want to just wallow in it sometimes, because I think the only role that women have had has been vixen, victim, like those are the conditioned roles that we're like put in. And I think it's out of habit. I think I honestly do. I think it's out of habit. It's out of cultural influence. It's out of conditioning, because, the spirit, who I really am, knows better. Right. So it's having to connect from deep down in there to the rest of us. Like, the rest of us has to catch up to where my spirit, where my soul really is. And I would venture to say that, and that helps us feel better ultimately. And if I can be honest, and I've never said this out loud, so this is going to be interesting.
Ooh. Oh, is this an exclusive Willita Trimmings confession?
It is. I have often enjoyed being the victim.
Ooh, why? Tell me why. Tell our listeners why.
Because it makes me feel like I have something to overcome. It gives me a sense of like a badge of humility and righteousness, at least from my religious context, right? Because I'm raised Christian, so suffering is a part of the game. You get points for that. So in the sense that I'm a victim, this is happening to me, and I wish I could, and it creates this really warm. Please don't judge me, y'all. This warm, fuzzy, like blanket, like, because the reality is, all of what I'm experiencing, I created. And I don't want to deal with that.
Where is my shoe to throw at you?
I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to accept that. I don't want to be with that.
The responsibility.
Right. Because it's a real responsibility. And so it's so much easier to put it on someone. And in so doing, not only do I get to put all of that weight on them, I get to be helpless and the victim and see what you did to me. And
life is so hard. Somebody come rescue me from my own life that I made.
That part. Exactly. And it took me years to get to that, because I'm not ashamed of the way that I've been raised. I'm a brat. I was raised loved well. I was loved well by my Gemini mama. Oh my God, who I know is somewhere in the ethers, like close. But in so doing, it kind of like, it was just like my Linus blanket. Being a victim was my Linus blanket. It allowed me a sense of safety because I would be better, but I can't be better because this has happened to me. So I'm going to walk around and then everybody will feel sorry for me. And then I'll get all this extra love and attention. And that big old Leo Cancer version of me just loves all that attention. So, you know, you mix all that.
Wait a minute. Cause you know, I'm a Gemini, right? And I have Leo and is my rising and Cancer in my moon. So I really get it. Like I really understand what we choose to feed off of. I would like to see us grow in our emotional and spiritual IQ in a way that allows us to experience tragedy without feeling like we need to negotiate our power. I would like for us to experience the tragedies of life because they are unavoidable, because Earth is actually the classroom and it's all about polarity and it's where we got to learn to be God and human at the same damn time. So there is this space of like when you're in between being who you've always been and becoming who you're getting ready to be, where you have to choose your power, even if that means you're choosing it before you feel it, you know? And I agree with you, Willita. I think a lot of women are deprived in nurturing. They were not nurtured correctly, and they did not receive enough time to enjoy just being here before their parents started tasking them with responsibilities, especially the girls. The girls get trained to cook and clean much sooner than the boys, right?
Absolutely.
Even though we are seeing better parenting in this generation, the reality is the standards that have been set for women are to achieve. Well, what about alignment?
How about that?
Because in our work as womb sauna practitioners, you know, we see women come in with the degrees, the 6 and 9 figure income, all of that, but don't have a clue about who they are without all of those things on their resume.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then they find their way to us because life starts whooping their ass.
That's how I found you.
Like the universe says, I think you need just a little bit of crisis to wake up. It's like when they do the defibrillators, like boom, boom.
Uh-huh.
Okay, them bills ain't paid. Boom, boom. All right, you in a crisis. Boom, boom. Oh, wait a minute, your edge is going. Boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like blood pressure is high. Boom, boom. Your womb is full of fibroids. But it's like what cost do you have to pay to remember who you truly are? And do women actually know that you get to decide the cost?
I was just getting ready to say, I don't think we understand that it's a choice. Like we don't, it's so simple, but it's not always easy. It's real simple, right? Because it's simplistic. I'm at the point now, thank you, Mother Wisdom, that I see when things occur that are challenges or that I would call challenges, I literally stop and go, no, this is an opportunity. Because this is coming to show me how I respond so I can decide what the best response is. You know who you want to be, but you know you ain't got no habits that match that because that habits is back there with that other joker. And you decided to be this new evolved person. So life has to create these experiences so that your habits can catch up. You understand what I'm saying? And so if we could look at it from that perspective, not to say that would take away the pain, because it is what it is, and it hits how it hits. But even when we stay in it, we can stay in it from a place of healing and not wallowing. Because I'm looking for the
even if we can't get to the healing part yet, because maybe we're like in the in between.
Okay.
Right. Can we just stop waddling?
Can we just stop? Like, let's not even get to what's going on next.
Right. But can we just stop what we've been doing?
And you know what? If the truth be told, I have to say that was my process, right? Because there have been a sundry of challenges from the time that I've met you until the present.
Don't say it like what that mean.
because for me, you're like my Lionsgate portal. Like you're like
I am. I'm
you
very
know what I mean?
polarizing in women's lives. I am.
Right. And so, you know, you in all of the opportunities that I've been able to share with you, you just kept digging and just like, have you ever like jacked
I'm
up
an excavator. I'm an excavator.
Oh, I'm just
Yeah,
digging
I get to the bottom. I get to the root of it. The root.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, one and in the between time when you was getting in the root, I was you're right. I really couldn't go forward. All I could do was just stop myself from being anxious. And all I could do was, you know, take some breaths and not wig out, or I'd have to sit and cry, honestly. Because I'll never forget when I did an event for for my other business, Trimmings Kitchen, and I was like that dog who runs around in a circle, like, you know, the little dog. I was like, wait, stop. I yelled at myself in the middle of my kitchen, stop it. You know what you're doing. You've done this before. Regardless of what time situation you have, you can do this. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So what we gonna do? And so you're right.
I say that again. Y'all put that in the comment section. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
So what
for real. And that's what I want people to really take away from this conversation. Like, it all begins and ends with you. If you say I can't, then so be it. So does your body. So does your life. So does everything else. Agree, because as Reverend Ike says, and I've been quoting it a lot, everything in the earth knows your God but you. Everything.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the women who are courageous enough to be where they are and see themselves as powerful, even if they are having a weak experience of themselves.
Oh, that's good.
Because listen, let's just use, since we both were brought up in Christianity, let's just use Jesus and his journey as the experience. He decided to leave his father's cozy side and come to Earth. Why would you do that? Didn't you get a preview of Earth? Like, why would you come here?
You didn't do your research, sir. I'm gonna need you to do that.
Earth is ghetto. I'm still waiting on the spaceship to come pick me up. You know, so you leave your dad's side, you come to Earth, and let me just insert here that if Satan was the problem, why didn't God just take Satan out? Why he got to sacrifice his only begotten son? But okay, I digress. So you leave your daddy's side, you come to Earth, you grow up, now you know you're God, you're doing your miracles, you're turning water to wine, you're healing people, they touching the hem of your garments and all of that. You decide to be crucified. Wait a minute. It was a decision.
It was.
So you're up there experiencing this excruciating pain in your body and trying to configure your brain in such a way to release your spirit, to go to hell, conquer death, so you can come back real gangster and be like, yo, where's your sting? Where's your victory? But you know that this is delicate because you have to choose to die so you can get back up. I feel like I'm about to preach. That was not the intention.
That went right through me. I promise you that.
That was not. You chose to give up your spirit and then reroute it back. And then you had the audacity, though, to not only wake every cell and organ back up, but decide to intentionally keep your wounds.
That's crazy.
To intentionally keep the nail prints, as they say, in your hands. Because you knew that you would run into a human being who would have difficulty knowing that you are fully God and fully human. So you left some evidence of your decision to die and get up. Okay.
Ooh.
I feel like me and Jesus got something in common, because when I look at my mastery season, I'm in my mastery season. And what I have learned is the most important thing to master in my life is myself. I will not even start my day if I have not configured my brain correctly, because I am the God of my life and I have healed my separatism from God. Me and God are one. My life belongs to me. I better decide what I'm going to do with it. Right?
That part. Absolutely.
But that does not give me an exemption to adversity and pain.
Matter of fact, it actually makes you a better candidate for it.
I'm going to throw this phone.
It does, because then you become the example in the earth, because that's so. Please, for all my believers, just hear it this way. We need more Jesuses in the earth.
For real. For real.
If you can receive it, if you can hear it the way God fixed their ears in such a way that they hear it, so that it goes to the right space in their spirit. Because I know, dogma is dogma for a lot of us.
Well, let me sprinkle a little bit on top of that then.
Okay.
Because if they truly are followers of Christ, he said it himself. He himself said, "You will do greater works than me." So not only is he needed, but the greater version of him is needed. And guess who that is? I'm just saying.
Everybody listening, all those on the live, it includes you too. Just FYI,
Hello?
just ain't a Willita Entertainment. I'm just talking to the people. You too.
No, this ain't just our conversation. This is a world conversation. Like, I'm gonna need the women. Look, here is the summation of it, and then we got to tell the people how to connect with you and go, because we be here all day. But here's what I want to say that my Baba taught me. He said, as soon as you accept what it is, the pain has done its job. You want relief?
Acceptance.
Then stop wishing you could get around it. Stop wishing it's any other way than what it is, and get masterful. Figure this shit out. We are beyond manifesting. It's time for the master alchemist to stand up and say, boo boo, I've been through hell. If you want to get out of here faster, just make a left, then go down that way. You see that big fire pit? Where your credit score dropped, make a right there. You see boo boo the food that you had to leave behind. Now make that U-turn. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Stop trying to avoid hell and learn how to navigate through it.
Yes. Because everybody has to go through that. And so, well, okay, you say
it's like a rite of passage. There's not been a time that I didn't have adversity to face and I didn't go higher.
Yeah, because that's what it does. That is its job. Because it squeezes that stuff out of you that has been stopping you from going higher.
Girl,
it forces that out of you. And so now there's no place to go but up. Because the stuff that was holding you back, we done got rid of that. Because you had to, because it hurt. And you was like, I don't like this no more. This is bad. It did feel good at one point, but it's no good no more.
So, for real. For real. So deep bow to the wisdom you brought to this conversation, girl. It's just, it's so rich. It's so yummy. It's like, I'm just like rocking. Like, I could sit here all day in this knowledge and energy. How do people prepare to sit on your pot, to have a womb sauna experience with you? If they realize they've been going through hell and high water and they need some support and they need to really work on themselves, what can they expect from a womb sauna session with you?
Well, they can expect, one, that I am going to be in a space where I will be completely poured out and prepared to just deal. Like, they would have that assurance that I would ground myself in such a way that I could support, right? Because that's the first thing. And then, after, our intake process, and I would have an opportunity just to see where they are, just a conversation, because it's all about servicing the woman that's in front of me. So there isn't like the chain way that we do things, or, a set thing, but it's more like, we sit down, we meet, I look at your information. You talk to me about what your intention is, what it is that you need for this session, because I am in no way anyone's healer but my own. I'm a way shower to the healing, but I'm like that old commercial. No, my brother, you got to get your own. Remember that old school commercial with the music that used to come on and he wanted that CD?
You telling your age in this interview now.
Yeah, I am. I don't look it, praise the Lord, but yes, it is.
Hey, girl, them jeans are good, girl. Them jeans are good.
But you know, and in the same way, you got to go get your own. But I am here to support, right? And so, however, Spirit moves in that session, and whatever it is that you intend, we are going to move in such a way that all that needs to happen in that space will, because we are both availing ourselves. And but I'm committed to the woman, every woman that sits before me, and I don't believe that there's any one set way, because everybody's needs are different. You know, God doesn't deal with any of us the exact same way. I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how they do it at all, because there's billions of us, but they manage to make it.
We're all it. That's how it gets done.
That you're right.
There is no separatism between us and God. How you say you God's child, but you're not God?
You're right, because I showed you
God DNA.
I'm my mama's child, and Lord knows I'm Georgia Laura. I promise you.
Okay, I can't deny mine. I tried, but it didn't work out too well because I look just like her.
Absolutely.
So what area are you in? Because I'm sure there's women listening that's like, oh, I resonate with Willita's energy and what she's saying. So if they want to get to you, what do they need to do, and what area are you in?
So I am located in North Jersey, Newark specifically. So I'm available to pretty much everywhere north, like Essex County, Hudson County, those areas there. You can go to, I don't know if I can put it in the chat. I just have to go to my list.
No, they won't see the chat.
Okay. So I can go, you would go to, let me see, what is this? I apologize. You would go to PusseePoweredLife.traft.com to see what services I provide and to see if that's something that you would resonate with. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. At present, it's under my name. So Instagram is Willita, spelled Willeatuh. And Facebook is my actual name, Willita Trimmings.
All right. So check the description. I will have all of her contact information there for you to stay in touch. And any final words as we begin to transition out of this conversation that we've been lingering and marinating in?
Nothing other than I wish all who experience this, I wish you so much light and love in your healing journey. Wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be. I pray that you don't compare yourself to anyone on your way as you are continuing to grow and develop, because it's not about comparison. It really, really is not. You are on a specific journey for that which God has purposed in your life. And I wish you well. And if there's anything that you think I can do to assist, I stand ready and available. Thank you so much. Deep bow, Tema Aziz Sewa.
I love you too. Comparison is the thief of joy.
It robbed me for decades. I was an angry Black woman for decades, all because I was comparing myself. So I pray you hear me, whoever you are, please stop. It's a child. Just stop it. You can stop every time that thought comes. Just a nope, we ain't doing that today. Nope, you got to say it 20 times. Nope, we ain't doing that today, because it will rob you. I wish you all.
This was so good. Y'all, I told y'all that I'm gonna keep pumping out these incredible conversations that I know are activating the clarity and the power that you need within you. We love you.